Hello, Sparks. Alan Greenspan and I appreciate you meeting with us at the request of the president. He mentioned you might have some insight into the Fed's work. Yes, at first I told him I would not do this. But when he said I could get Greenspan in here, I figured it would be entertaining to kill two birds with one stone. I'd like to start by getting your opinions on a short video clip. I'm not sure what you mean by this. Let me clear up your confusion by starting with the oracle. Greenspan. What word would you use to best describe yourself? How about hypocrite? Sellout? Or perhaps the phrase, political prostitute would be more appropriate? I don't understand what you mean. You are supposed to be a disciple of Ayn Rand, and you have written extensively, exalting free market philosophy, and condemning the Fed, and the concept of central banking. Yet your first complete sellout to yourself and society, was that you legitimized the Fed, when you took the job in the first place. And then, after the shit hit the fan from your shenanigans, you took it upon yourself to do the following.
So the problem here is something which looked to be a very solid edifice, and indeed a critical pillar to market competition and free markets, did break down, and I think that, as I said, shocked me. I still do not fully understand why it happened.
Nice demonstration of integrity. First, you contradicted your own principles by taking the job. You then undertook a grand experiment with 300 million people's wallets. The experiment failed miserably, and, unless you're incredibly stupid, which may very well be the case, you then blatantly threw free markets under the bus. All this was done, while you damn well knew the bankers were operating in an arena that didn't even remotely resemble a free market, and that free markets had nothing to do with your ostentatious central planning. With all of this on your conscience, have you been able to maintain any level of self-respect? Keep thinking about it while I have a chat with the latest economic sage, Mr. Benjamin Bernanke. Let's start with a video clip from my recent meeting with the president. Your economic advisors all completely suck, as do all mainstream economists, as well as that half-wit, dumbass, Ben Bernanke. That is inappropriate commentary, and based on no credible evidence. Then why don't we look at what you had to say just before our colossal recession began in 2007?
Overall, the U.S. economy appears likely to expand at a moderate pace over the second half of 2007, with growth then strengthening a bit in 2008 to a rate close to the economy's underlying trend.
Nice call. And how about back in 2005?
What is the worst case scenario if, in fact, we were to see prices come down substantially across the country?
Well, I guess I don't buy your premise. It's a pretty unlikely possibility. We've never had a decline in house prices on a nationwide basis. So what I think is more likely is that house prices will slow, maybe stabilize, might slow consumption spending a bit. I don't think it's going to drive the economy too far from its full employment path, though.
Another nice call. Up until the last few months, you were once again painting a rosy picture about the economy's growth, and you bragged about saving us from danger, while behind the scenes those in the Austrian economics world have known all your words were bullshit. And now that the printing presses didn't produce the results you predicted in the first round of quantitative easing, you are ready to shoot up another big dose of monetary heroin. You really don't have a very good track record or handle on anything, do you? I'm a student of the Great Depression, and I have prepared my entire life for a situation like this. Very omniscient of you. Did you ever imagine that you would wind up being a major contributor to the creation of the next Great Depression? Perhaps you should have been a student of Japan's 2 lost decades instead. A few of their products valued by what was still a healthy world economy kept their hopeless facade alive. You, on the other hand, have completely screwed yourself. While there may still be some economic uncertainty on the horizon, I believe the Federal Reserve has the necessary tools to successfully evade any danger. So in other words, you fully support the war. Which war are you speaking of? The currency war you are leading, genius. The global race to debase our currency to nothing. What makes you think you know how to do my job better than I? By not doing your job, I do it better than you. While you continue your Greenspan-inspired, ego-driven, grand experiment that is destined for failure, try to realize that the only solution to spare you a trace of dignity in the history books is to eliminate the Fed altogether. The Fed is needed to maintain full employment and price stability. Will you get your head out of Keynes and Friedman's asses? All you and your Fed do is the exact opposite of your goals. Your actions distort prices, screwing up economic calculation, which leads to overly large booms and super-dramatic busts. Get your hands off of the economy. Your and Greenspan's track records show that you can't predict or control anything. And if you studied economic schools of thought outside of what your namby-pamby, Ivy League brainwashing has taught you, you would know why. By the way, the hat you are wearing makes you look as though you're going undercover to hide the fact that you're fleecing everyone in the entire country. Greenspan. Do you have anything more to say for yourself? Then I must suggest that you might find solace in speeding up your momentum toward Alzheimer's. Before I go, Bernanke, I must know, what type of wheelbarrow will you get to cart around all the money you will soon need to buy a single loaf of bread? Will it be made out of the last remaining stash of the Fed's supply of gold?